Hey, welcome back, guys. So we're going to do Spotify. So let's go ahead and go to Spotify's login page. Okay, so let's go to login. All right, so we'll grab this URL a little bit later, but let's take a look at the fields. So we're just going to do the input field and the button. So let's check that out. I can zoom this out a bit. Okay, so our email or username. Okay, so we have input, data encore ID. Ooh, ID login username. Nice. Okay, that's exciting. This one looked kind of okay. If we didn't have an ID, we could use the data test ID. Okay, so we will use that for the ID and for the button. Login button. Nice. Okay, cool. Probably couldn't do too much with these classes. The data test ID we could. You know, and I haven't used this data encore ID, but we probably could do something with that. Okay, so now let's make our page objects. So let's go into Visual Studio. So I'm going to go to our variable page. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to change this name to Spotify login page. I'm going to borrow that name. Zoom in. Okay, so I'll change our class name to match and our constructor. Okay, so now, excuse me, we want our login page to have our email or username. So let's say email or username by. Do the same thing here. Username element. We'll do continue button by, and then we'll do continue button element. So we'll put this one here, put this one here. Oops, too fast. Okay, so the XPath, the by, it's going to be ID. Luckily for both of these, it's ID. And our web element, the driver.find element, is going to use the by selector. So, and if you're new here, we're doing this because there are different methods available for both object types. So we can use our wait conditions, our expected conditions class for the by type object. And then for the web element, we can use our advanced actions API. So if we have to do like actions, send keys, perform, we can do that with the web element. That's why I like having them both. So, but there's plenty of ways to do this, guys. This is just one technique. Okay, so now what we need to do is let's get our IDs. So I like to select and copy, because sometimes there are spaces inside, like a space like that or a space after the hyphen. So just make sure it has to match exactly to the attribute that you're defining. So let's grab our continue button. So we don't want the span, which it could work, but it's good practice to grab the actual button tag. So let's come in here. Okay, so now we will wait for the email. And then we'll send keys to the email or username. To the element though. Okay, so now we have to actually send something, and let's give this method a meaningful name like login. So we'll pass in a username or email. Oops. Let me fix that. Okay. And then we just need to click our button. So we want to wait for it first, wait for the button, continue button by, and then we want to click the continue button. So continue button element dot click. Excuse me. Okay, so that should be it for our page class. So the next thing we want to do is add the test. So let's go here. Let's go to our, hold on one second. Okay. So let's go to our example test. We'll copy it, paste it, change the name to Spotify login test. Okay, I need to delete that CS at the end. All right, so we want to pull in our page object. Spotify login page. And the access modifier here is, it's optional if you wanted it to be private. It defaults to private. Spotify login page. So down here, make sure that you create a new instance of the object. So Spotify login page is equal to Spotify login page driver. So you could name this anything as long as it matches the instance of the object. Okay, so we'll put that back. Okay, and let's give our test a meaningful name. So login to Spotify. Did I spell that right up here? Spotify. Yeah, okay. Awesome. But yeah, hey guys, you should check out our school community. We go into a lot more detail about access modifiers, API calls, techniques in C#. So check it out. Okay, so now I'm going to change that URL to match this URL, just copying it, pasting it. So we are going to, so instead of using this method here, I want to use the available common method from the base page. So it's the same as this really, but this is a common method, so it's better to use common methods than it is to repeat yourself. Okay, so next, let's add our Spotify login page. Log in. Call that method we just created, and we need to give ourselves a username, email. So it's equal to, don't, as always, don't spam Spotify. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Zoom in a bit, and we'll do email or username. Excellent. Okay, so let's throw a thread.sleep just to see what's going on. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Okay. I was showing an assertion fail, which if you've been following along, you'll. Okay, yeah. We'll see. Let's watch the Spotify. Let's see. Excellent. Excellent. So we could do something with this, with that message there. Okay, so. Okay. Email or users not linked. Okay. Okay, so this is tricky. How would we wait for this without using a class. So actually, username error. Ooh, we actually could just use that. Let's see if that's always there though. Username error, there's 2. All right, let's see if that's here when there is no error. So as long as it only appears after. Actually, here can I? Maybe I can do this. Okay. All right, I was hoping it would be empty when I was on the screen. So maybe if I do this, should I just click log? Oh, nope. Meant to click log in. Oh no, it still saves it. Okay, well, let's just check the elements anyway and see if we can find it. Okay, it is there. It's still there. All right, so in that case, we would need to use this exact text. So let's see how we do that. So what we could do is, let's go back to our page and let's create a new element. And let's do by XPath. Okay, so we want to, I believe it was a span. Okay, it's a span. It's a span. All right, so we want to do something like this. We want to say like, show me all, look for all the spans. And we want to say that the text, where the text is equal to, here, hold on. Okay, so where the text is equal to this exactly. All right, so let's paste that in there. Now I'm going to test this XPath because I'm not sure if this is going to work. So let's just test it. So let's go to our console, let's close this. If you guys are interested, I can make a whole video on this function, but this function allows us to check if it found, oh, I typed it wrong. Okay. So I have to fix that. Okay. So we want to do contains. Must always be contains. Okay, so that, we would want that here, I believe. Okay, I believe this is it. All right, here, let's double check that. So let's try this again. Okay, I'll just paste it. Okay, oops, let's clear that up. It's still not a valid XPath. Okay. Here, give me 1 second to fix that. Not valid. All right, 1 second to fix that. let's try this. Let's clear up some of these. Let's get rid of that. Wow. Okay, so this is user error. This is me doing something wrong. It's not a valid XPath. Okay. Had to ask AI. Let me try this. Okay, wait. I was getting ahead of myself. Wow. All right. Okay. Okay, found it. So this will work. This will work for sure. Awesome. All right. Forgive me, guys. I know I should have had that one figured out, but this is the purpose of this series. So let's... Okay, so now let's go to back to our class. And let's update our new XPath so we know this will find it. And so we're escaping these characters. Not sure why it's doing that. I might actually have to look that up. Okay, but while we come back to that, let's go ahead and call this error text by. Yeah, we shouldn't have to escape those characters. Let me try that one more time. I'm really curious. Okay, so console, let's go back here. And let's paste. Oh. I see. It needs it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. You do have to escape them. Otherwise, it doesn't recognize it. Or it believes that it's the end of the actual expression. Okay, so that's why we have to do that. Okay, so let's go back to our test. Curiosity satiated. And let's fix this. Okay, so now we need a method that will return if the element is displayed. Yeah, I'll just say error text displayed. And then we'll wait for the element. We'll wait for the error text to appear, error text by. And then since this is a method of Boolean type, we're going to return, we must return a true or false. So we're going to return if the error text element is displayed. All right, so now let's go to our Spotify test and let's assert that Spotify login page to get access to the Boolean. This is our condition. Error text is displayed is true. Okay, so now let's just run this. Here, I'll turn this down a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Excellent. So it passed. So if it wasn't found, it would have failed. So like, let's force it to fail by calling this false. And here, I'm just going to remove this thread.sleep. It'll just run faster. Because we also want it to wait as it's supposed to for the text to appear. And there it goes. It failed because it found the text. Awesome. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.